Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're working on the 721D Grasshopper. Problem I'm having with this today, or all week, is my left side stick. I'm losing all my hydrostat power to my left wheel. And I do have a lot of hydraulic oil leaking off the pump. The right side's been changed over maybe 3 years ago. The left side's never been changed, so it has approximately almost 900 hours on it. And these are the original belts, so I'm not sure, but they're probably due to be changed, so I got new belts for it. But one thing I noticed was this tensioner pulley likes to stick down. It's not doing it so much now, but maybe these springs for this arm for the tensioner pulley is not giving it enough tension. But I definitely got a leak as well, so I'll keep everybody up to date on what I'm doing. Okay, so I took the pressure washer to the Grasshopper so I can get a better view of what's going on with the pump. See if I can find leaks, any fittings that might be loose. But definitely don't want to take a high pressure nozzle on your power washer to your belts. Good thing I got some new ones, but I frayed it with the one nozzle I had on the pressure washer. So anyway, that looks a lot better. I'm going to see if I can see if there's any loose connections, try to get a better visual of where it might be leaking. So everybody, one thing I want to point out was that protector that goes here are two 6mm bolts with 10mm heads, and I thought these were 12, but my 12 does not go on, too small. So I tried a 13 kind of wiggles. So I'm afraid I'm gonna strip the head. But if you take a look, my 1/2 inch fits better than the 12 and 13. So I don't get it. All the rest of the bolts on this thing are metric. This right here is 14mm. These are 14mm. So if you run into the same situation, let me know. I won't go with a 1/2 inch, but 12 and 13 don't fit. Well, the 12 doesn't fit, but the 13 is kind of loose, but the 1/2 inch fits better than the 13. So I guess we'll try it. So I'm gonna take that off and take a look under here, check the springs out, and then while I have this flipped over, I'm gonna take 3 bolts out, just like I did on the one video for the fan belt replacement when my alternator locked up. We'll take that apart, and then we'll push these idler pulleys down, get the belts off, and try to slide them up in between the main shaft here from the engine to the actual belts for the hydrostat pump. So anyway, so what I did is I had to take these shocks or dampers loose from here and here. Then I had to take a breaker bar with a 1/2 inch socket for these two. Take this off. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this bolt loose and see if I can change the tensioner spring on this one. And I don't know if I'm going to change the spring on that. I may while I'm here. Then, as I mentioned, I'm going to take, this is a better view than what I had on the one video when I changed the alternator belt. But I'm going to take probably these 2 bolts out for this shaft up here and down here, and then probably one on this side. That way I can bring it this way and get these belts off. So that's what I'm going to try next. Okay, so before I start changing some belts and some belt tensioner springs, I just want to run through the Grasshopper part numbers that I'm going to plan on changing out today. So we have the Hydrostat belts at 381903. Again, this is for the 721 diesel Grasshopper. Both sides, left and right side, are the same belt. I have two of those. 381903. So those are the Hydrostat belts. Those tensioner springs I was talking about changing right there. There's two of those, and they're both the same part number, 284425. So I'll be changing those out. And then I also remembered I bought the idler pulleys, or the tensioner pulleys, because while I'm here I might as well change them. They're both 393, 312, top and bottom. And I also bought the linkage adjusters for the arms here and over there. Got a total of 6 of these. These are a left-hand thread, I think. They're 265615 part number. And then you have a right-hand thread, I think, that are 265616. Or the other ones might be a right hand and these are left hand. I have to look it up on the schematics. So I've got this with the part numbers that tells me which linkage adjusters are which. And you can go online and print this out. But the Grasshopper dealer was nice enough to attach this to my parts that I bought. So anyway, I just wanted to run through the part numbers for all of you, and I'll get to this. So I'm in the middle of changing this tensioner spring. Just make sure that your spring is on the top, right there on that pin, right on that pin, and make sure it's wrapped around your tension arm right here. Okay, this is a 19 millimeter head with a 14 millimeter nut, so I just point that out. Okay, just one important note, you got to take your belt off this pulley here so you can bring this bracket up, so that'll give you some relief on your spring. If your belt's still on, then you're gonna probably get popped when you take that bolt out, so be careful. So this is what it looks like when it's off. Don't forget to check your nylon spacer. I'm gonna put the new spring on and put the new tensioner pulley on. I don't know if it's normal, but when I pulled this bushing off here, it kind of snapped and broke. So it doesn't make much sense. I didn't know that it would do that. So that bolt and lock washer and nut should hold everything in place, but just a side note. So as you're putting on the tensioner pulley, the new one, just make sure that the spacer, this spacer, is on this side. So just like that, then your 3 washers, and then goes into your bracket. It's hard to do with one hand. I need a GoPro or something, but I don't have the funds for that. So it goes in just like that, and then stick your nut on. Just like that. My preference was, as I was taking out the main shaft to the hydraulic shaft connection, was to come over to the right side, because your hydraulic reservoir is in the way over there and you can't get a wrench. So do it from the right side. It'll save you some time. and it's a lot easier. So what I did was I took out the 2 shaft bolts on the bottom and the top, loosened this one up, then I took this one out so we can swivel this. So hopefully there's enough gap down in there we can squeeze the belts from here on both pulleys out of here and put the new ones in. I got one belt off. That worked out pretty good. So I'm gonna take the other belt off, and you have to finagle them because there's not much room to work with. So what I did was I grabbed it from the bottom and the top, pulling up on the other shaft and kind of turning it. You got to work at it, that's for sure. There we go. Both bolts are off, and I'm going to put both the new bolts on the same way. Okay, well, on the lower tensioner pulley, I was able to pull the spacer out without breaking it. So I don't know, maybe the other side was seized up, but anyway, just want to point that out. So one thing I learned on changing the tensioner pulley on the bottom and changing the spring is you gotta have 3 hands to do it. No, I'm just kidding. But what I did is I left the bolt out, I put it in the hole, and I left the bolt out. And then I took my round end of my boxed in wrench, and I took the bottom of the spring and pushed it up over the post. And now I'm gonna finish putting that bolt all the way through. But that definitely was difficult, but just a little trick. You can do that same thing for the top, but at least you can get to it. But the bottom one's a little bit tougher. So anyway, just a tip. Okay, so we got both the new Hydrostat pump belts, and I'm getting ready to fasten the engine shaft to the hydraulic shaft together. So remember, take your time feeding those things between the 2 shafts, but they will go. Okay, everyone, we changed the tensioner pulleys for both Hydrostat motors, the springs on each one of the tensioner pulleys. We put new bolts on, and everything's back together. So let's start it up. Well, I think that really helped. I'm not so sure that the pump is not bad on the left side, but I can tell you what, it's really improved. So I hope this video helps somebody, at least with changing the belts for the Hydrostat pumps. If I have any more videos on the left side Hydrostat pump, I'll let you know. But I hope everybody liked this video. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, please subscribe. Thanks, everybody. Take care.